Hi everybody and welcome to Foam to Face. My name is Curtis. This is going to be a tutorial and shave using one of the cheaper and harder to lather soaps on the market. Wilkinson Sword shave soap. A while back I did post that I had come up with a way that worked well to lather this soap into a nice creamy thick lather, and that post and the pictures I posted with it on the CWS Facebook site garnered a fair bit of conversation and attention. So recently I asked for guys who want to see how I lathered this soap if they would like me to do something like a video, and it was overwhelmingly yes. So what I'm going to do in a minute here is change the position of the camera and show you how I go about loading the brush, start the lather with this soap, and then afterwards we'll come back, I'll bring it to the face and we'll shave with it and see really with its best lather how good of a job it does for slickness and protection for the face during the shave. So give me a minute, let me reposition the camera and I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. What I've been doing is I was just in the shower, but I had as hot as tap water as possible on the puck in the case, blooming it, as well as just kind of hold the heat in as best as possible. I left the lid in, and you can see there's a little bit of condensation in there from that. So I'm just going to dump this out. And one of the things I hope the camera will be able to pick up is this top layer of soap is quite soft. Hard pucks, if you don't, I found in my experience, if you don't bloom them and with warm to definitely hot water, are definitely difficult to work with. And the hotter the water, honestly, the better. Reason for that is you really want to be able to work on that first level of soap. The brush I'm using today is the Rockwell Razors Synthetic. The reason I chose this brush is honestly it's just a bit of a cheaper brush, and I can really kind of beat on it without feeling too bad. So I'm going to just start working the soap. One of the things right off the hop is you're going to get a lot of this airy, foamy, not necessarily proto-lather, but I guess you could call it proto-lather. What I'm going to do is, as much as possible on camera, whip it up, but I'm actually going to keep it. I'm going to use it, and I don't normally do that with anything that kind of comes with the artisan soaps, but with this one, as much as possible, I'm okay to have it kick up into my hand because I actually want to kind of use my thumb in my hand to gather it. But I really want to just get in there and work the soap as much as possible. You can kind of see even right now, the lather is actually starting to have a fairly nice sheen to it. It's also not having an overabundance of air holes. So we're just gonna, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to overload this immensely. And now one of the things with this hard puck in this container, it likes to spit. It doesn't hold in there like a hot pour soap does that arsons do. So I'm actually going to take this and I'm going to whip it up in my timeless lather bowl. So I'm just going to, as I need, put that kind of proto lather into the bowl. But the hot pour soaps, once they're in their container, they kind of dry and adhere to their container. This puck doesn't do that. So I'm actually pinching the sides to hold the puck in place. And again, I'm getting a fairly nice lather. Again, I'm just putting that in the bowl. And now you can kind of hear pretty nice sound as I'm picking up soap. It doesn't sound too wet or airy. It's kind of got a really nice consistency coming around my hand. So we're going to do that. Now if you look, here's the thing about hard soaps. There's not a ton that's really working itself into the brush. This being a synthetic, or I've noticed even with boar. Badger I find is horrible with hard pucks. I stay away from it altogether. So I go synthetic or boar. Badger's just too thirsty and just doesn't work well with hard soaps. But anyway, there's not a lot of soap in here. So people who load that, there's a fair bit of soap in there, but not enough to really work a really great lather. So this is why I am actually putting this lather into the bowl, why I'm keeping the stuff around, because it's actually making a good quality lather around, but instead of going into the brush, it's just pushing it up along the sides. The brush was fairly wet. I actually, even though it was a synthetic and you don't need to soak it, I did soak it. I had it in extremely warm hot water too, just as hot as I had on the soap. Just wanting those bristles to be as warm as possible for this whole process. So the brush now is getting pretty dry, and you can tell because this lather that's coming around is starting to look pretty dry itself. So what I'm going to do is just kind of take my finger and get as much as this soap and lather that's been created in, on, and around this container and on my hands as possible. Dry, wet, doesn't matter. Alright, put that to the side for now. Alright. Again, you can see I'm just putting it in the bowl so that it collects in there. Alright, so for the sake of being able to hold on to a brush, I'm going to wash my hands. And we won't need this anymore, so I'm going to give that a good rinse before the soap really dries to the outside, and I can dry to the side. Alright, so we've got our brush and we've got our lather right now. So just playing with that, there's lather in there to work with. So I'm going to add some water, decent amount, and I'm just going to start working it. Now this is going to be a bit longer of a video because I'm showing the whole process here, and it wasn't the quickest thing back in the summer when I really decided to play around with this. One of the things with Wilikinson Sword is it's a very clean, lemony, citronella smell. And actually, I very much enjoy it. Hang on a sec, guys. And we're back. Alright, you have to forgive me, guys. My camera holder there isn't the greatest for the angle we're shooting at, and I've got the phone tilted, bringing the weight up towards the front. So this actually may happen again because I'm not editing, I'm just doing this raw to show you guys what I go through lathering these harder or cheaper soaps. So as you can see, it's actually getting fairly peaky, but if you look in the bowl, if you look at the bottom, hopefully you'll notice that it's still somewhat airy. I am gonna add some more water. I know, right? What the hell? It's airy. Adding more water, but I really want to be able to work this soap. So I'm just gonna go at it here for a bit. Push down the sides, back and forth. Don't be afraid to get a little mean with the brush. It's also kind of why I stay to a cheaper brush. Easily found, easily gotten, cheap. You're not killing an artisan's creation. You're not buying it or ruining a more expensive knot. So. There's a Wilikinson Sword Badger brush out there. I don't own one, and I knew what I was able to do with this soap with this brush. So as you can see, it's starting to whip up a fair bit of lather. And that lather is actually looking pretty nice. So I think what I'm going to do at this point, it's not 100% yet, but one of the greatest agitators I find are whiskers. So with that said, I'm going to prep for the shave now, finish and give a good lather to my face, really work this into the whiskers, but allow it to work the soap too. I will come back when I'm prepped and ready to apply the foam to the face. All right. And we're back again. All right. So we're going to do the shave portion of this video now. We're going to apply the lather to the face and see what kind of lather we can finish with on our face. Before we get started, I just want to let you know, since we're using the Wilikinson Sword shave soap, we're going to use the Wilikinson Sword twist to open razor, currently available at various locations, and a Wilikinson Sword blade, and I'm going to quickly prep that right now. I have found that the Wilikinson Sword blade does actually a very nice job in this razor. It's comfortable, does the job fairly efficiently, so it's a nice combo, at least for me. All right, so I have about a little over 3 days worth of growth that I'm going to be taking off. I have hit it with a little bit of pre-shave oil. I'm just going to wet my face and apply the lather. All right, start with a good amount of lather, and we will just put it on, and then we'll work it. I don't know about you guys, but I always find the best lathers launch lather. So I'm just going to look past you here a little bit into the mirror as I work this. So right off the hop, one of the things that can happen with hard soap lathers is dissipation. Not so much because you've used too much water, which can happen, but because, again, like I was saying, without having that really warm bloom or hot bloom to soften the top layer of soap, and without collecting up the soap that's actually forming the really nice lather, because the brush is really what its brush is doing is more or less kicking it out, is you're not getting enough soap, period. So even a little bit of water will be too much. So just working it here. If I can find a way to fast forward this in the video, guys, I will for you, because I know this part isn't the most exciting to watch, but it's one of the nicest to do. Who doesn't like to build a nice lather on their face? No. Right off the hop, barely hydrated. To be more hydrated? Probably. But yeah, it definitely could be more hydrated. But it's not doing horrible. And it's not dissipating. It's holding up quite nicely. And actually feels really nice on the face. It's a nice feeling lather right now. And for me, this is actually going to be good enough for this stuff. When I can work lather and get the thick overflow of lather just run. Plus, I don't know if you guys are picking up, the lather's just bombing off this brush and off my face. So we're gonna stick with that, and we're gonna shave. All right. Today is October 30th. The reason I'm deciding to do the shave today also is I don't know 100% what I'm doing for November, or some guys say no shave November, so I always have a little bit of facial hair for the most part, and I might not shave the face and bring a full beard in. I might do the mustache, I might do nothing, I might just kind of continue with kind of what I've got going on. Haven't decided yet. I've got another day and a half, so. All right. So right now, it's actually got pretty nice slickness. Even the residual slickness isn't horrible. And the whole reason I wanted to delve into this particular soap a little bit more was because early on, getting into wet shaving, there's not an abundance of soaps and creams out there readily available outside of the internet. At least where I live. So I actually saw this soap for $4 at Walmart. Why not? Give it a shot, right? Like I said, I like the scent, so that was a plus. Price was a plus, but to be honest, for $4, I did not expect a ton. And the first few shaves I had with it, it kind of was exactly what I thought. A cheap soap that didn't perform well. Mostly due to the lackluster or the subpar leather I could form. And it sat in my den, and I didn't forget about it, but I never reached for it. And the reason for that is I started getting more and more artisan soaps and better quality soaps, and there was no reason to reach for it. And I did a little bit of a den reorganization a few months back, and it came out, I smelled it again. Something about that smell, that scent, I really enjoy. So I figured I'd give it one last shot and really give it a chance to see if I could build a good lather, knowing that that was most of the issue that I was having with this soap. Hang on a sec, guys. So, first pass was nice. There's definitely some residual slickness there, which is nice to see. So we're going to go for pass 2. Foaming my other phone. I have foaming my other phone. Alright. Remember, wet shaving's a hobby, it's for fun. You take it a little bit serious because you're paying for products and you're wanting to get the best outcome for your money. But it's a hobby, it's fun. You can be shaving into a phone camera and nick yourself because it's just weird. So, as you can see, the lather is not dissipating. And one of the things I noticed with this soap, and soaps like Wilikinson soap and stuff, it would start dissipating rather quickly. All right. You have to forgive me, guys, if the angle of the camera isn't the greatest. Trying to have it a little bit more centered to me than I do in my lives. And still trying to somewhat see what I'm doing in the mirror. Yeah. Unfortunately, I always have a little bit of bumps of some sort on my face. So that is what you're seeing bleeding. The rays and the blade are actually doing extremely well. The soap actually is providing a lot of protection. This lather is actually a very nice lather. Unfortunately, I have a couple remainders of zits that I've nicked. So, excuse me for 1 sec, gotta rinse off again. All right. So, as you can see, the bleeding has actually started to subside on those little zits. So that's nice. I am going to do a third pass. The face is feeling pretty good. The neck definitely needs a little bit more attention. So, as you can see here, getting ready for the third pass. The lather obviously is thinner, less hair for it to grab onto, but it's still actually a fairly nice lather on the face. It's not dissipating away. It's going to stay like this until I take it away with the razor or decide to walk around for half the day and have it just, dry off and stuff. But it's holding itself well. So when it comes to soaps, cheap, harder soaps like Williams Mug Soap or this Wilikinson Sword, or even some of the other harder soaps out there, which is, sorry guys, which is, what's that one out there that we all love? Fine Accoutrements. they use the harder pucks. I am just gonna deal with this right now for the rest of this little video. Sorry guys. Like I said, I wasn't gonna be editing it or anything. This is who I am. This is me shaving, dealing with little bumps, cuts, nicks, whatever. Only difference is I'm talking to you, showing you this product. Hopefully you're getting something out of it. Hopefully you've seen some value in seeing how I made the lather on a hard puck, on a cheaper puck, on something like that. So for anybody out there who wants to get into it or wants to cut back on how much they're spending or whatever, that even some of the cheaper options out there can still be good options, can be solid options. You know, I'm talking, the lather's still doing great. So let's quickly take it off. Good there. Now, might not feel a little sensitive. It's actually a whole lot sensitive. So I don't do a full across the grain. I mean, against the grain. I do a modified 45-degree angle, kind of across and against the grain. I just clean it up best I can. I don't have a thick beard, I don't have an intense growth to it. So, it works. Face feels good except for right here and right there. So we're gonna do a quick cleanup pass. Just to get out of that. And then we'll hit the post shave and I'll let you guys go on with your day. Let's try and keep this to under 35 minutes, eh? All right. Again, going at a modified 45. You can go down straight down a little bit on the sides. And then there you go. That is catching sets. All right. There you go. All right. I am definitely going to just stop there. This one will just kind of peel my face off. All right, let me wash up, kind of just get ready for the post, and I will be right back. All right, guys, back. I just threw some witch hazel on. I kind of got a whole little multi-post routine. Just some Thayer's Original Witch Hazel, Prosso Blue, my #1 favorite balm. Put the moisture back in my skin. I have noticed that over the last couple of years, witch hazel and the balm really helps my skin. Bring the moisture back and just keep it looking the best it can, especially because I do have blemish or skin issues that arise naturally anyway. Don't want to make it any worse with shaving. So, all right, yeah. So, shave wise, great shave. Didn't get to BBS, but I didn't expect to. Not with that soap, and not even really so much with the razor and blade combination, but it was comfortable. You did a good job. And just gonna wrap up here. I'm using a little bit more of a classic name and shaving like Wilikinson Sword. Why not use another classic clubbing? So, we got the splash to put on, the smell good. But yeah, hopefully you guys found the tutorial part of this video, the beginning, helpful for when it comes to hard soaps, cheaper soaps, that there's a way that you can lather them and they can be efficient and they can build a nice lather and do a good job for you and give you a nice shave. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it was a little rough, but I'm no tech genius, so you got me and you got how I shave and the little whoops-a-daisies and everything. So anyway, I hope you all have a good day, good weekend, and whenever you're watching this, happy shaves.